Hi, in this video we are going to learn enum in Java. Basically, enum is a kind of customized, or we can say custom data type in Java or any other language like in C or C++. We can have also enum, but Java enum is little bit different in terms of C or C++ what they provide. So in this video you are going to learn what is enum and how to create enum in Java and the methods that is defined inside enum, and enum actually can be used in the switch case and also inside the loop, and what is the difference between enum and class. And in case of enum it can actually implement interface, so one kind of example you can check and the uses of it. So first point is what is enum. So the enum, it is a short form of enumeration in Java, is a special data type which contains a set of predefined constants. It you usually use it in enum when dealing with the values that are not required to change, like days of the week or season of the year, colors, maybe the size. So all the constants or predefined constant or set of values that we can use as a constant in the Java or any language, we can be used as enum. So let's check how to create a enum in Java. So let's say we have one class size. So basically to create enum in Java, so Java already have the enum keyword. So public enum and then the enum name and all the other things, like this is the enum values. Okay, so here I created the enum size, and then the three type of size: one is small, medium and large. So let's check like how it can be used. So we just have to use like that. It's a size enum. Okay, and we can to print it. Okay, if I run this program, it will print size enum. Basically in enum there are different methods, so let's check one by one. So one is name. So by default name actually the name of the enum. Okay, it is the default thing. And then we can have the method called ordeal. Ordeal is like in each it is the actually index. If I use a small, because it is defined in first section, so it is 0. If I use I large, let's say, then it will be 2. Why 2? Because it is in the it is 0 base 0 1 2. Okay, ordeal, ordinal. And then we have a two string method is common, like it will just give you the two string of that enum name. And the main thing here is the value of and values. So values actually will return the all the values in array format, like here I have used. So in this particular example, if I want to use the, or if I want to print the values, so let's say I can copy paste this code here. So here, like, I can use the method values. So here it will print all the values of the enum, small, medium and large. Now value of is like when from string you want to define or you want to create the object of enum. So then we, from the string, we want to create the object, so we are providing the value. So here, like, we can keep this. So ultimately if I give this, then it will create the or assigned, create and assign the size enum, small. Okay, But same, if I give a wrong value, so it will give you exception. The exception is that no enum constant found with the name small one. So it actually, if the value is proper, then it will create. Now there are another method like class type and the name. So here also I can provide the class type of the enum and the name defined way. So we can also create in that manner also. So next section is that enum in switch case. So loop I already show you, like if we have the in enum there is a values operator, values method. So using values we can able to print the all the enum values, and in so and also enum can be used in a switch case. Let's say in this example, if I copy paste this example here, so I define variable of enum of medium and I want to check. So in Java 5 it is supported. I think Java 8 onwards, I think it is 7 or 8 onwards it is supported, or 6. I actually cannot confirm, but maybe from Java 6 it is supported in the switch case in Enum, or maybe in 7, that you need to check. But so here, if I give this, so we can use it in switch case, so it will print the medium size. Okay, now so I think the switch case and loop also cover. Now what is the difference between enum and class? So actually an enum can, just like a class, have attributes and method. The only difference in the enum constants are public, static and final, and we cannot override it, it is unchangeable. And enum cannot be used to create objects. It cannot also extend classes. So basically, if I want to identify when you should use the class and when you should use the enum, so where like we have a fixed set of data, and like we can say week, we know that there is 7 days in a week, we know the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So there we should use enum. Whenever we have the data set is not fixed in number, but it is a constant, then we should use like public static constant string in that scenario. And also in enum there are like something like we as mentioned, like the by default the variables enum are public, static and final. Okay, so here if enum cannot extend class, because by default the operator here I mentioned in the size enum, I cannot extend any class. Okay, so if I want to extend, it will give you error. Let's say I want to extend number, it will not come, but actually I can implement it. Implement, so actually not in this example, so I have some other example I can show you. So another advantage of enum versus constant is, let's say here if I have two type of, if I define a constant here, let's say public static final string size medium. So the value of the size medium, let's say m, and also I defined public static height medium. So if I create a variable here, string variable, let's say the variable is like var size. Then here I can define, like I can assign this, and also after some time I can, like this, the value of this can be assigned, and I cannot judge from the value or type, like it is not type safe because it is a string. So I can again assign the value of height medium, though the value is same, the variable is different, and also the purpose is different. So like in the example, suppose in height enum also, there is three values: short, medium, and tall. So here if I want to, in this Java class, let's say if I create size enum, so only size enum can be assigned. If I want to assign the height enum, medium, it cannot be assigned because it is type safe. But in string constant, it is not type safe. This is one of the advantage of enum over class. Okay. Now let's say how we can create one enum that also implement some functionality. So for that, I create one interface that is calculate, uh, that has the first and second method, and this is the enum that implements the enum interface, and actually have two values, add and subtract. So whenever it implements the interface, at that time we need to override, actually implement the method calculate. Okay, so let's say for add, the operation is first plus second, and for subtract it is first minus second. So this is the operation or logic I can implement in the enum. So if I use, and let's say I have one class that is called operation, where actually the enum class, the instance of the enum class operator, it is the instance of the enum class operator passed, and there the calculate method calculate the value. This operator object is enum, then calculate first and second by passing it. Okay, this is the method. So basically, if I call this method from here, so creating operation add, where specifying two values for calculation 2010 and then subtract 2010, and passing the operator add or subtract. So if I do the add dot calculate or subtract dot calculate, it will calculate. So this is one example where enum can implement one interface. Okay, it's sometimes for implementing a business logic, maybe it is required. So another example is that construct, like enum with constructor. So let's say in this case, the example of size enum or height enum, let's say. So let's say uh, we want to create, maintain as like 10 means short, so 20 means medium, and tall means 30. So here what we can do, we can create the constructor. This is called enum constructor, and we can actually create a private value. We can say int value, gst height value. So it is by default, let's say 0, and whenever it is created, so now in this case I can have the public getter method, or I can have any method, just create, let's say height value, get height value, can return the, so here let's say this is another example with the constant, because in constant we can only give, for a string constant we can only provide one value only. But in this particular case we can associate the object or associate the enum with different attributes. Let's say in particular case sort with the value 10, and maybe we can add more things with that. For let's say sort with abbreviation s, let's say we can provide a abbreviation here with the constructor. Let's check how this is working. So in this example, if I use height enum dot, let's say medium, so by default, so medium means uh, I think 20, so it will print, so if I print it, it will print 20. So this is one example enum with constructor. Okay, so basically the uses of enum, like I mentioned previously, mainly that I can say the advantage of enum, let's say in case of we need the type safety, compile time type safety, so it is better than the constant. And some case we want to limit the input from the user, in which case it is required better. And also, like if we know that it is a set of defined type, let's say I mentioned the days in week, or maybe color, or we can say the size or height, or let's say car or car type, all these things that are fixed in number or limited. And also like it can be defined in an object format, it can be used in enum. And also enum's advantage is that it is iterable. And you can say the disadvantage, like normally in coding constant in regular classes there are things that can be achieved but prohibited in enum class, like accessing a static field in the constructor. We cannot do that in the enum. And also in serializability, like for a singletons it is very common to be stateful. In general those singletons would not be serializable. There is no real example while transporting a stateful singleton from one VM to another VM makes sense. A singleton means unique within a VM, not unique in a universe. If serialization really makes sense for a stateful singleton, the singleton should specify explicitly and accurately what it means in another VM to reserialize a singleton where they may be already a singleton of the same type. So actually in enum by default it is serialized, so sometimes it is not required to have it, but it comes with a disadvantage of that. More or less this is the enum. So basically in primarily what you need to know how to create enum class, that already I described using the operator. In this case of you need to have the some default property or additional property, you can add the constructor argument and give the proper value of that. To access the enum method, mainly the dot name will provide the name and dot value will provide the value of the enum. And also like I can say like dot value means the value of the enum. So in that scenario case, so just if I print the val, get height val already provided. So in this case if I give the name, so it will give the name of the enum. Okay, and then the value that you have create the getter, then that wise it will give you the value. Overall this is the enum.